Alright everyone, I'm here to give you my Walking Dead review. And this is Season 3, Episode 9, and it came out on February 10th, 2013. Um, and it's called The Suicide Kin, which I guess makes a lot of sense. And if you guys didn't notice, I shaved the beard and stuff. I just got sick of it and decided to shave it, so kind of how it is. Um, and it starts off right from where it left off with Mo and Daryl when the governor had kidnapped them and found them, and the governor Philip is gonna force them to fight. They're gonna kill each other, and whoever wins gets to go home free. That's kind of how he puts it. And Andrea doesn't like this. She's like, "This guy's my friend," but she's being held back. Um, and then they start fighting, and Mel pretty much kicks his ass throughout much of it. And I guess they brought two walkers in because I guess whoever lost would have gotten eaten by the walkers. Um, then they was like, "You don't have to do this. Do you really think he's gonna let you be set free?" I think he's doing this to test Mel's loyalty because he wants to see where his loyalty lies. Um, and then Mel's like, "Just follow my lead," and they start fighting the walkers, or biters. That's what the people in the town like to call them, but they're walkers, not biters. Um, and I don't know what the plan normally was, because I don't think they were planning on what happens next. Because next, Maggie starts shooting the walkers, and Rick throws the tear gas, so everyone can't see, and it starts with like this big gun war, and it shows the governor. He kills one of the walkers, and he just looks more evil now. He looks more like a villain now. He just looks like a badass villain pretty much. Um, and then they they go off. They escape. First, they didn't want Mo to come after all this, but he's like, "Do you really want to talk about this now?" And he knows. And they break through the fence, and there's a bunch of walkers out there. They kill him, and one of the walkers ends up coming into the Woodbury, which I thought was awesome. And that's how it ended. Um, and then they go back with Glenn because he couldn't go because he was too injured, and whatever her name is, Michelle, that black girl's name with the sword. And when they see Mel, they go off on him, saying that after what this guy did to her, um, and Mel reveals that Andrea is there, and talks about how he just kind of going off on him. Talks about how Mo talks about how he beat up Glenn and Maggie. Talks about how he almost killed Michelle in the woods. And Rick's pissed that Michelle went off on her own. And then eventually Rick just hits, and they're not going to bring Mo into the group, but he thinks that he knows what's going on in the governor's world. So eventually Rick just hits him in the back of the head with his gun. Um, and then Herschel, Carl, Beth, and I think that's it. And the prisoner, I don't remember his name, but they're with this new group, um, and we find out this group's been staying with this guy in the shed. I think that's the guy that and Rick's group had killed the last episode, or 2 episodes ago, whenever it was. Um, and he's like, we can. He thinks that they can contribute a lot. They want to stay, but it's not up to them because it's up to Rick since he's like the leader of the group. Um, and we find out this guy's name's Tyrese, and we find out that his wife's name's Sasha, and the guy that's there's a guy that's dressed like kind of how Rick would look. Um, his name's Howard, and the other guy's name is Alan. I think his name was that was the other guy. and they find out that there was 20 of them before, but they all died. And Howard's wife died, and they're gonna give her a proper burial, and that's kind of how that all plays out. They're gonna ask if they can join the group. And then what happens next is Rick is back at the closing of the Woodbury. They talk about how they don't want to take Merle in because he could cause up some drama, and he's hurt some people before. They just don't want to take him in because of the man that he is. He's been with the governor, but they think they should take him since he knows what goes on inside Woodbury. And Daryl thinks that they could use him for for when the governor, because obviously they know that Philip's gonna overrun the prison. They're gonna have guys go there, and they're gonna have, and they don't want Michelle to leave. They said they're just gonna give her the supplies they need, and then she'll be on her way. And then Dale says though that if Merle doesn't come with me, then you don't get me. So Dale threatens to walk out, but Rick doesn't want him to leave because they need him because he keeps the group strong. He always protects everyone, and Dale says no him, no me. So he tells him to take care of Carl and Judith, who he calls little ass kicker. And they walk off. He walks off with Merle. And I don't know if we're gonna see Dale ever again. I don't know what's going on with that. We'll see. I'll see. Because you guys probably have seen the show. And yeah, they just leave. They get in the car and drive away. And back at the town, people at Woodbury, people want to leave. Everyone wants to leave. Is that what happens next? Yeah, everyone wants to leave. Everyone wants to leave Woodbury because of what happened. And now there's walkers in there because of what happened with Rick's group. And people don't want them to leave. They're threatening to shoot them. And he actually forces a guy out of his car and is going to shoot him. And Andrea's like, don't do this. People are just scared right now, and they're going to get even more scared. And they don't think it's safe to go in the Woodbury anymore, so they want to leave. And we find out we hear a woman screaming, and one of the walkers is eating this guy. And Andrea shoots one of them, and she runs out of bullets, so she just kicks him in the head, and then just reloads her gun and shoots this guy. And I guess his wife was it's like, somebody help him. And Andrea knows she has to put him down, but she doesn't want to do it. And Philip just comes down, shoots him in the head, and walks off. I thought that was pretty good stuff. He's just looking more villainous and villainous. He's just kind of just losing his mind, I guess, because he just lost his daughter. And this big scene just happened with Rick's group. So just how they calls them terrorists. Then Rick, there's a red truck in the way of the path of Rick's, and they're gonna open the door, I guess, and move the truck so they can get through. And then a walker comes out, and Glenn just stomps it repeatedly until it dies. And Glenn's pissed at Rick that they didn't kill Philip after what he did to Andrea. No, after what he did to Maggie. And he says, we only went back for Dale. And he's like, well, you should have taken me with you. I wanted to kill this guy. Because now he's going to come after us. And he's pissed that Rick just let Dale just go off. And he just goes off on Rick. It was pretty awesome stuff. And Rick says it was Dale's decision. I can't ask him just to walk off on his brother. And Maggie says, well, just talk about this when we get back. And Glenn says, no, I'm done talking. So I have a feeling Glenn's just done with Rick. He even says that you always think you're doing what's right, but you're not. And I thought that was good stuff. And then Philip, I guess, is getting ready to go to war. And Andrea comes in and is like, what was that? You just come in and you're abandoning your people when they really need you. They're all really scared. And they need you. Philip's like, they don't need me. And she even says they want to leave. And he's like, then let them leave. And Andrea's like, they wouldn't survive 2 days out there. And he's like, and that's my fault. I shouldn't have I'm done. He's pretty much done. He's like, I shouldn't let him have barbecues and live normal lives. We're at war here. We need to continue going to war. And I thought that was good stuff. And he finally reveals that Andrea's friends were there. And it reveals that Mel kidnapped Glenn and Maggie, and Andrea's pissed that he didn't tell her that her friends were there, that she wanted to see them, and Philip talks about how her friends killed good people, and she goes off on the names, and he says that they're going to invade, and he even talks about how she's just a visitor, so she didn't need to know. And Andrew's like, don't do this, don't push me away. And then eventually, she kind of just, what's his name? His name's in here somewhere. Milton. I know that's like part of his name. I don't remember, but he comes in and says the people are having a riots again, and I guess the governor's not having that. Philip's not having that. And we find out that I think this was earlier that how Tyrus's group, I think he's like the leader, are gonna bury Howard's wife, and Howard talks about how we should just jump these people, just take their weapons and their food, because it's survival of the fittest around here. We need to do this. I mean, it's a pretty easy get. We got a 17-year-old girl. We have a one-legged man. We have a little kid, and we have a, I guess he says an old lady. And Tyler says, just let this other group get here. Let them work it out, and let me do the talking. And then Beth and Beth and somebody else come out. Beth and I think it was Herschel. No, Beth and the prisoner come out, and they give him the shovels, and Tyrus and Sasha come up and say, yeah, thanks for the shovels. So, they're like, don't you want help? He's like, no, we can take care of it. So I thought that was pretty good stuff. I don't even think they ever do this. And then Carl's talking to Carol, and she talks about how she used to love the noise, like the traffic, the car alarms, and now she doesn't get to have this noise anymore because the world's coming to an end. And she talks about how her mom would be his mom would be proud of her, and he's like, what I do, all I did was was be mean to her. And she's like, that's not what it is. And before she can finish, Rick, Glenn, and Maggie come back, and he hugs Carl, and Rick tells Carol that they all just walked out on the group, and she's upset by it. And then he tells Herschel about what's going on with the governor and how they're going to invade. And Herschel tells him about Tyrus's new group, and Rick just comes in, and before he says anything, he just walks off, and then he takes his Judith, and when he gets her, she starts crying, and we hear like this buzzing sound that goes off in Rick's head. I don't know what that was really about. And then Andrea gives like this big speech how everyone needs to like pull through and stand together, because when this was like the plague, people will look at Woodbury and they will remember what it's like, and then everyone starts getting emotional, I guess. And then Herschel's checking on Glenn, healing up his injuries, and Maggie and Glenn aren't talking right now, I guess, because of what happened with Glenn. And then he goes to check on Maggie, and she does the same thing. She doesn't really say anything. She doesn't even say what goes on there, because obviously she doesn't want to talk about it. I wouldn't either. And he says that that you're just like your mother. You're so resourceful, and you're so he just said he's just so like his mother. And then we find out that Michelle has a concussion, and she'll be back on her feet in 2 days, and Rick says then she'll leave in 2 days. And then he goes to see Tyrus's group, and not Tyrus. Why do I keep saying Tyrus? His name is Tyrese. I've been saying Tyrus because I know someone named Tyrus, and yeah, it's kind of but it's Tyrese. Anyhow, talks about how he talks them in and says they can contribute a lot to the group. They won't go near the group. And he said, if you need us to do anything, we can get our own food. And if you need us to help take out another group, we can do it. And I actually thought Rick was going to say yes, but Rick says no because of because he brought people like Oscar, who just died, and and it's all his fault. He doesn't want it to be his responsible. And everyone thinks he's wrong. Herschel says, we've done everything you asked, but we think you're wrong about this one. And then we see Lori. She's like an angel. And she's looking down at Rick. Only Rick sees this, by the way. And Lori's like watching out, and he's like, what do you want? And then Rick just kind of goes crazy, saying, what do you want from me? Get out! And he keeps saying that. And he points his gun, and Tyrese's group gets out, and then it ends with Rick being crazy. And I thought that was awesome. I don't even know where this is going, but we'll see. But yeah, I like this one. I guess the name didn't really fit because no one committed suicide. But maybe to me, what it looked like is it looks like Rick's group is killing themselves because Glenn and Rick are having differences. Glenn and Maggie, they lost Dale, which was a big loss because he was like one of the best fighters there, and it was like someone they could rely on. They lost, and even like the Woodbury's dying on the inside because now they don't think it's safe to be there anymore, and now Philip's gonna get sick and tired, and he's gonna make everyone fight for themselves. So I really did like this episode. Thought it was really good stuff, and I'm gonna watch the next one and give my review of that now.